To build a strong foundation for social-emotional learning skills, youth need opportunities to practice stepping into different perspectives and analyze if they are willing to win at any cost. In Win-Win or Bust, participants will play a strategy game to understand how win-win thinking can create a strong community.
So I have a question up here on the board. Do you think that there is always a winner and a loser in conflict?
No. It could be a draw, but no, there can't be two winners or two losers.
There can never be two winners or two losers? Okay, what else?
I think it can only be one winner, because if someone knocks someone else down, that means they lost.
Okay, so we are going to play a game called Super Tic-Tac-Toe. And we're going to try to unpack this idea of, is there always a winner or a loser in a conflict? You're each going to get a Super Tic-Tac-Toe board, and you're going to get a plate that has orange markers and green markers on it. So a Super Tic-Tac-Toe board is a little different from a regular Tic-Tac-Toe board because you can get 5 in a row instead of 3 in a row. So your goal is to score the most points. You get a point every time you get 5 in a row. So let's say I got 5 X's in a row, that would be 1 point. All right? So you're going to be playing against each other. So what's different about Super Tic-Tac-Toe is you keep going until the whole board is filled up. If you and your partner fill up the whole board really quick, you can clear the board and start again. So you can play as many times as you can in the 1 minute that I give you. So I'm going to pass out materials. So you guys take that one. Who's going to be green and who's going to be orange? If you're about to win this, raise your hand. Okay, let me see. So remember, your goal is to score the most points. On your marks, get set, go.
I'm a terrible hockey.
What are you doing?
2, 1, time's up. Raise your hand if you scored 1 point. You got one? You both got one? Okay, raise your hand if you got more than 1 point. So one team in here got 1 point each. All right, so before we start the second round, think silently about your strategy and what you might do differently in round 2. Ready? Go. Ten seconds. Yes. All right, I see people scoring some points. All right, time's up. Raise your hand if you scored 1 point.
I scored more than 1.
Okay, raise your hand if you scored more than 2. Who scored 2? Who scored 3? Both of you? Each of you scored 3? You scored 3? Okay, 5? Anybody score more than 5? How many did you score? 6. All right. So she's getting pretty high. Both of these guys got 3. Let's pause and think about how are we approaching this game. So the point of this game, remember, we're going to play one more round. Remember I said we're going to do 3 rounds. We're going to do a 3rd round. And this time I'm going to have you guys turn to your partner and strategize together. So the point of this game is not necessarily to win, which would mean beating the other person. The point of this game is to score the most points.
But I don't like to cheat because...
Figure out a way to play? All right, let's try it. You ready? Clear your boards. Go. High points. Let's see. Score the most points. I see some strategies. I see some people playing to score, which might not mean trying to defeat your partner. How many did you get? 2? How many did you get? 14? How many did you get? 14 each? 3? 3? 9.
I mean 8, no 8.
8?
7.
7? 0? 0? What do you think they're doing to get 14? Or 3 and 3? Or 3 and 3? How are they? They're doing something different.
Each of them filled up one board, and then they flipped it over and filled up another one.
Okay, so they filled up a whole board with green and then they filled up a whole board with orange? Is that what you did? That is what you did. What is different about that? How come the rest of you didn't think about doing that? Right?
I think it's actually cheating because you're not taking turns. Like, go, he goes, I go, he goes.
Okay, let's ask them. Were you taking turns?
Yeah.
You did.
Using her chips.
But they just use the same color chips. Why did you do it like that?
They did it like that so you could both get high scores and beat everybody.
So they wanted to both get high scores. So how are you guys playing? That's interesting too.
The rules are actually trying to play, but we kept on losing.
You kept on losing. The strategy that these two ended up playing is called lose-lose. They both lost, right? So that's one way to play. The strategy, if their strategy is lose-lose, what's their strategy?
Win-win.
Win-win. Great. Well, there are other ways you could do it. Yeah?
Lose-win.
There could be a lose-win. Who had a lose-win in this game?
I had 7 and he had 8.
All right, so a 7-8 score is like a lose-win. What else could there be?
Draw.
There could be a draw. And then what else?
Win-lose.
There could be a win-lose. What would a win-lose look like?
I had 2 get out. Nothing.
Okay, so 2-0. That's a win-lose. So we have this chart here, which is called Will You Win or Lose? When are there times in life where we play lose-win or win-lose?
Soccer.
Maybe in soccer,
Basketball.
maybe in basketball,
Tennis.
in tennis. All right, so lots of sports, right? When might we want to be in win-win thinking?
When you're in a fight with your friend.
Yeah, maybe when you're in a fight with a friend. And when it's a friend, and isn't it important that both of you guys get your needs met?
Yeah. It depends.
It's basic.
It depends.
Yeah.
All right, let me give you guys a scenario, and we're gonna play with this idea. I'm gonna read you a scenario, okay? And then I'm going to ask you with your partner to try to tell me what is a solution to this scenario that is win-win, and what's a solution that is lose-lose. Nina comes home from school and wants to watch a TV show in the living room. You got that? Mm-hmm. Her older sister Genevieve is always there with her friend talking on the couch. So get into a partner and tell me what could happen that would be a lose-lose.
They both get in trouble for arguing.
They both get in trouble for arguing. Great. So that is lose-lose thinking. Now let's try to get a win-win.
They both decided that the big sister has to go to her room and talk with her friend in just her room, and then her little sister can just watch TV downstairs.
Okay, so if the big sister decides that she wouldn't mind talking somewhere else. All right, so let's pause here. Let's form one big circle. Who can tell me of an example in your real life where you were in lose-lose thinking?
My sister was talking to her friend on the couch, and then she wouldn't let me see the couch. So my mom came in and told us to both go to our rooms.
That's a great example. That's very similar to this scenario, right? What would be different about the world if everyone used win-win thinking?
If people would start giving other people a chance.
People might give each other a chance more. All right, so as we end this session, I want us to all think about what is one thing we could do if we wanted to have more win-win thinking.
Have a positive attitude.
We could have more of a positive attitude. Great, what else? Let, bring us home. We might have more fun with each other. Yeah. I think that if people had more win-win thinking, we would fight less, we would share more, we would get along together better. I think the world would be a much happier and more peaceful place.